All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. It's Film School Dropouts with Brent and James. I
Hey, how
said it
you doing?
backwards. I'm actually James. I don't know why I said your name first.
That's okay.
It's been a while. We're kind of rusty. We've had mental health issues. We've had work scheduling, weather, technical issues, but we're back.
We are back. Yeah, we've had a plethora of just lifetime events, but
Been
we're
really
back.
fun for both of us.
But we're back just in time for the biggest film ceremony of the year, the Academy Awards.
We're gonna put this out as soon as possible. That way we can be ahead of the game. But yeah, we're gonna talk Licorice Pizza today, but we're also gonna talk Oscars. We're gonna probably start with Oscar talk. Yeah.
I think it's the optimal choice.
I think it's a good thing for us to dive into. Yeah, the nominations. We've had the nominations out for what, like 2 weeks now. Probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, just about.
And yeah, I don't know. I've had a lot of time to sit with them.
I know you've put in some work. You've seen most of these.
Well, I've seen all the best pictures.
Okay, I'm looking at the list right now.
But I usually see all the best pictures by the time they announce it, just by happenstance. Like,
yeah, you're a bit of an animal, is what you are.
I can't stop.
That's fine. I don't want you to stop.
No,
if anything, I want you to keep going.
I will
Go harder.
Okay, fine.
No, I don't want you to go harder.
Go burn myself out.
You save some movies for the podcast.
Yeah.
So let's look at these best pictures real quick.
Let's talk.
The only ones I haven't seen are Coda.
Oh, you haven't seen? Okay. All right.
No, I haven't seen Coda. No, you're gonna do that in every movie.
Well, Coda is, you're gonna love Coda. Like, you're just gonna love it. I know you are.
Well, that's exciting. And then the other one is obviously Drive My Car, because it can't really find it anywhere. We talked about this last time.
Yeah, it's not playing anywhere except for the theater that I live next to.
All the rest: West Side Story, Power of the Dog, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, obviously King Richard, Dune, Don't Look Up, and Belfast.
Keep forgetting King Richard made it into Best Picture. I don't know why that one, like, I keep forgetting it's in there. Not in a bad way. It's a good movie. I don't have any problem with it being in there.
Listen, let's get this out of the way. I need to give you your props for getting your Kristen Stewart nomination correct.
Oh, you know what? I don't remember what episode it was, but yes, I called that Kristen Stewart would get her first Oscar nomination for Spencer. You kind of poo-pooed me a little bit.
I was like, no, she's not. She's not getting it. And guess what?
Yeah, she absolutely got nominated, and I was fucking 100%. Through the roof. I was so happy.
I kind of got a little thing right too, because when I saw King Richard, I was like, oh, this is not only one of the best sports movies I've ever seen. This is one of the best Will Smith performances I've seen. I hope he gets a nomination. I think
off the top of your head, top 5 Will Smith performances.
Easy. Oh no, I thought, is this in there? Is what you're saying? Like, is this in his?
Oh no, I think it probably is. I want to know what your top 5 is. I think I could probably off the top of my head pull a top 5.
As far as like the craft of acting, like I've seen him in a bunch of roles.
No, just whatever your favorite 5 are.
Just favorite, like you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I think he does his, like, probably his best acting. Are there other roles that I enjoy him more in? Of course, like obviously Stephen Hiller in Independence Day is an icon. You know, that growing up, I was like, God, that's the coolest freaking pilot, like, imaginable, you know.
Yeah.
Welcome to Earth. Bam. You know, but no, as far as acting wise, what he's gotten his other nomination was Pursuit of Happiness. I didn't particularly like that film, like, as much as everyone else.
Movie's kind of boring. Yeah,
it was all right, and he was all right in it. Like,
he's fine. Know, I think my top 5 would be in no particular order, except for number 1 is Ali, and then probably like Men in Black. King Richard definitely is in there. I Am Legend is up there. I know Legend is super high up. That might be my second favorite right there.
That's tough for me. I can't.
I know.
Yeah, the dog dies. You know, I can't.
You don't like.
I'm one of those people. I know. I'm supposed to be a film lover, and I can't even really tolerate watching films where a dog dies.
It's not fun. It's not like.
And I'm a horror like lover, and Michael Myers is like known to kill a dog, and like every freaking.
Oh, he does love to kill a dog.
Out of all the killers, he just happens to kill dogs. Like, it's whatever.
Didn't he eat the dog in the first Halloween movie? They said,
no,
didn't Loomis say like he was hungry after he sees the dead dog or whatever?
He might have, yeah. I think there is like a little shout out.
It's very Native American of him, you know, kill him and not waste anything.
Sure.
Just gonna drive right past that one. All right, what else we got to talk about here? So Will Smith, you called Will Smith, very good call. I called Kristen Stewart, very good call on my part.
It's pretty much the little props, like, you know, that are little predictions. Do you have anyone? If you're looking at this list, I know you've looked at it a lot. Any particular, if there's one, give me one name that you can think of that there should be a nomination for that's not on this list.
Oh,
For
like
any particular,
like my biggest
yeah,
snub.
yeah, you can give it to a movie, you can give it
Ooh,
to
that's
a
tough.
particular person in a role.
I mean, one of the big ones that jumps to mind is Denis Villeneuve not getting nominated for Best Director for Dune. I was pretty
Right,
surprised at that.
because it's up there for all the
Everything
other big
else,
ones.
yeah, I
Right.
mean, it got up there for everything, so that was pretty shocking. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
say
mean, it would make sense if it's nominated for every other category.
you would think
Why
that
would
maybe they would,
sure,
you know,
right?
and honestly, no offense to Kenneth Branagh or Belfast, which is a perfectly fine movie, but like he does not need to get a fucking directing nomination after what Denis Villeneuve did with that fucking movie. But that aside, I'm gonna say my number one like snub in the acting categories, which I pretty much knew wasn't gonna happen, but boy oh boy would it have made me happy. I really wish Simon Rex would have gotten nominated for Red Rocket. It is a like thrilling performance to watch. It is like so exciting to watch.
Is it okay? I think we ended up cutting that segment where we used to like hype up like future movies.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I had that on my list for movies that I was going after I saw the trailer. I was like, this looks great.
Red Rocket.
And I was, yeah. And
Yeah.
you ended up seeing it and you liked it.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It is it's so good. It is so funny. And Simon Rex gives one of those like once in a lifetime performances that are just like, while you're watching it, you're like, no one else in the world could do this the way he's doing it. And he probably will never be able to replicate it again because it's so good. Like it was just
the lead.
Lightning in a bottle. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's in like every scene. Yeah.
He's opposite Anna. Oh shoot. What's her
in Red Rocket?
Why? No, Scary Movie 3.
Anna Faris. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Anna Faris. Yeah. He's absolutely hilarious in
he's
Scary
hysterical
Movie 3.
in Scary Movie 3. Yes.
Well, that's the first one they branch out. It's no longer the Wayans Bros. And
right.
The Wayans
it's the
Bros
Zucker
are
brothers.
Hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, so are the Zuckers, but
it's a different type of it's a little more slapstick. Anyway,
it's way more spooky.
He was hilarious in that. So yeah, good. I'm glad.
He's outstanding.
Red Rocket. What else we got here? I know we've already talked about Don't Look Up. James is not a fan. I thought it was all right.
It's my least favorite movie of the entire year.
Yeah. Big down, 2 thumbs down on that one.
Yep.
Love King Richard. Nightmare Alley, we talked about that. That's your boy Guillermo del Toro. Very beautiful.
Very good looking movie.
Bradley Cooper kills it.
He's very good in it. I don't love that movie. I think it's like pretty good. Like I was actually shocked that it got in Best Picture. Like
I was a little surprised. I liked it. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I liked it. It's fine.
It had some,
It's kind of a boring follow-up to like winning. Like he just won Best Picture with The Shape of Water, and like his follow-up is like, I'm just gonna make like a down the middle noir remake. Like, okay, sure.
I mean, what does that say? What does that say about Del Toro? It's back-to-back Best Picture noms.
He's the fucking man. So
put that on the record.
Yeah.
A lot of people are complaining that Cate Blanchett didn't get a nom for.
She's really good in Nightmare Alley, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was all right. The biggest ball buster there was Bradley Cooper, just because he killed it.
Well, I'm more disappointed that Bradley Cooper didn't get nominated for the movie that we're talking about today, Licorice Pizza, but we will get to that soon.
Okay. Well, that's a little preview of what's to come. West Side Story, I loved it. I think it's probably the safest pick to just win.
That would be kind of historical and cool if it won, just because like the original West Side Story won. I don't know if I would call it the safest. I feel like the safest bet, if you're placing money on it, is Power of the Dog, just because like that movie came in with fucking 12 nominations and is just like if you follow like Rotten Tomatoes on any social media account, every award season they keep track of like what movies have the most awards through all of the like critic awards and all the guild awards, and like usually it's like the number 1 movie will have like 98, the number 2 movie will have like 86, the number 3 movie will have like 84. This year Power of the Dog has like 140, and like the next closest one is like, I don't know, fucking Tick Tick Boom with like 75 or something like that. Like Power of the Dog has just been steamrolling fucking every award season or every award show. Sorry.
Wow. And I mean, that just goes right into the next thing I was going to say. You're big for the audience out there. You're barking hard this year. Your Power of the Dog is your leading contender to just clean up also, as well as
Yeah.
critics think it also. So
Yeah. I've got dog fever. Bark bark. I think it's so fucking good. I don't know. We'll probably cover Jane Campion someday. I love her movies so
I'm
much,
sure we
and like
will.
Power of the Dog is such an exciting movie because she hadn't made a movie in like 12 years, and like for her to come back and just be like more powerful than ever is so cool. Sometimes that doesn't happen, you know? Yeah, Power of the Dog is fucking great. It's so good. I think that's probably got the best chance to win.
I mean, it has a very good chance to win.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, has a very good chance to win, or at least I did until the movie I saw last night.
Ooh, what'd you see last night?
The one you just mentioned, Tick Tick Boom. And I think it's Garfield's. I think it's Garfield's to lose now. After seeing that,
it's so hard to tell. Here's what I'm going to say: Javier Bardem is not going to win. Like that was a waste of a nomination.
Really?
Yeah, he sucks in the movie, and the movie's bad. Like I don't know. Like
wow.
I think he's
hot take.
Yeah, he's not very good in the movie. What a fucking waste of a slot.
I love Nicole Kidman. I love Javier Bardem.
I love both of them.
I almost went and rented it last night.
It is.
You're saying don't do it.
No,
do other nominations first before. What is it? Love the Ricardos or
Being the Ricardos?
Being the Ricardos.
Being the Ricardos is a like violently boring, mediocre movie. It's like it's just like the story he decided to tell. I don't understand. He clearly, I don't know. I have so many weird things to say about that movie, and like Nicole Kidman's good in it, but yeah, I don't know. Javier Bardem sucks in it, and J.K. Simmons getting nominated is fucking insane.
Wow.
He's so okay. not that he's bad, because he's J.K. Simmons. He's a pro.
I'm J.K. Simmons stan over here, you
know. But J.K. Simmons and Being the Ricardos, that would be like, oh god, I don't even know. What's the fucking equivalent of that? Oh, what's that? That would be like fucking nominating. Oh god, I can't come up with like a worse example.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm trying to think of like movies that came out this year that people would like.
That's all right. We'll come back to it. The other one I didn't see, Tragedy of Macbeth, but it's Denzel.
I don't think Denzel has a chance to win, even though he is extremely good in the movie. I just think the movie's a little too weird for everyone to go for. So I think it's a three-way tie between Will Smith, Andrew Garfield, and Benedict Cumberbatch. I think those are the three who are fighting.
When you say weird, that gives me the Lighthouse vibes. Is that, am I
no, I mean, no, it's not, it's not that weird. It's a Shakespeare. It's word for word Shakespeare. So it's not like,
okay,
it's just weird looking. It has this weird, like kind of German expressionist horror look to it. Okay. And I loved it. I thought it was like a heavy metal fucking movie, but I don't like whatever.
Sure.
We don't have to get. It's just Denzel is so
you
good
like weird shit too, though. So.
I do. Even though I have never been a big Shakespeare guy, so like watching The Tragedy of Macbeth was like watching a foreign language film with no subtitles because like I can't fucking understand a word that they're saying. I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, see, that's
I'm just like throwing up the metal horns. The what?
I do like that. The old English.
Oh yeah, you probably dig it then.
Yeah. So okay, moving on to actress in the leading role.
Okay.
This sucks because I haven't seen any of these. This is
really?
This is the first time in quite a while where I can say I have not seen any of these films.
I have no clue who's going to win this category.
I can probably knock out The Lost Daughter, though. That's a Netflix one. I can knock that out.
Yep, good movie.
Be split. So you don't have any clue here?
I have no clue. If I were to guess, I would say it's between Nicole Kidman and Olivia Colman. Those two seem to be getting the most buzz, but
they're not going to give Coleman another one, are they? So close.
Well, Kidman already has one.
I know, but hasn't it been a minute? Wasn't it The Hours?
Cruise already has one. You know, like yes, it was The Hours.
And it's been even longer for Cruise. You know,
I mean, listen, if I'm going to give anyone this award, it's obviously going to be Kristen Stewart. But like, it's tough. It's tough. I the one I don't want.
You've seen all these.
I have. Yeah.
So tell me who gave the best performance to you?
It's between Kristen Stewart and it's between Kristen Stewart and Penelope Cruz for me.
Okay.
But Olivia Colman is fucking staggeringly good in The Lost Daughter. She's
good. She's like broken, you know.
I know.
Like,
it's so funny.
So ridiculous. I'm kind of root for Chastain just because I think I'm a fan of hers.
That movie is bad. She's pretty damn good in it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. Director, Kenneth Branagh. I think, like you mentioned earlier, um, I think they just like him.
They clearly just like him. And like Belfast is a super crowd pleasing, like enjoyable movie. So I get why like everyone just
It's
jumped
fine.
on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
You know what I
I,
mean? But
I
for
like parts.
director, what's
I
going on
laughed
here?
a little bit. I smiled a little bit. It was fine. Nothing to write home about. I did notice, not to get too much in that, but what's the one angle everyone bitched about Branagh using in Thor where it's like diagonal and
Oh,
it's
the
like
Dutch
zoom?
angle.
The Dutch angle. He used it. I saw it like one little time in Belfast.
He
I'm like,
can't help
oh,
himself.
you son of a gun, Branagh. But all right. So this is, you've talked about this a little bit. Tell me a little bit about Drive My Car.
Drive My Car is beautiful. It's a 3 hour long like meditation on grief. Uh,
That's
it's
that's
it,
heavy right off the bat.
okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Drive. Everyone's oh my god, it's 3 hours long. It fucking just flies by. The movie is so like light and like it just sort of floats by really quickly and it doesn't feel like you're like, oh my god, when is this fucking movie gonna end? Like it is so fun to watch. And
Interesting.
it's yeah, it's very, very, very layered. I don't want to get into the plot just because like it would take too long
Sure.
for me to get into the plot. But yeah, Ryosuke Hamaguchi, like cool fucking nomination for him to get in director. Totally deserves it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But this is obviously, like, you think is probably going to Jane Campion for
I
Power
think
of the Dog.
it's either I think it's Jane or
Take
Steven.
12 years off. I mean,
I know you
deserve
come
a
back.
trophy
Yeah.
when you come back, right? Okay.
I mean, she's already made history. She's the only woman to ever be nominated for Best Director twice.
Nice. Bigelow, and then
No Bigelow. Yeah.
and then last year.
Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
But Jane's the only one to get nominated twice because she got nominated for The Piano back in the 90s.
Okay.
Very good movie.
I think I saw that one.
Harvey Keitel.
It's super sad. Is it
Gets
sad?
his dick out. No, it's not really sad.
Oh.
I mean, I guess it's kind of, I don't know. It's like a dramatic tragedy, but like it's not sad. I don't know.
I mean, dramatic tragedy right there.
But it's not like no one dies in it. Like it's not like
all right. I cry at like commercials on TV, so we'll move past that.
All right.
Let's jump rope ahead a little bit. Cinematography.
Okay.
I've told you about this. I think this easily has to go to Dune.
Okay.
Just the scope.
Yeah.
It's just jaw dropping.
Dune looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact, this is the first time since 1968 that cinematography and production design have had the exact same 5 nominations, which is really weird. They just perfectly match up. What does that mean? I don't know, but like I don't know. I would love it if Ari Wegner won for Power of the Dog because that movie looks gorgeous. And I don't, you don't really have a bad choice here. All of them look fucking great. Like Nightmare Alley is probably its strong point. It's probably the cinematography.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Tragedy of Macbeth, but the other 4, Dune, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, West Side Story, all of them just gorgeous movies. Can't go wrong. If Dune didn't win, I would like to see West Side Story win just because it was just so a lot of fun, bright colors.
Well, that movie looks incredible, and then at the same time, Spielberg is doing these extremely fun camera movements, just like the shit that looks so
around.
Oh my god, like it's so impressive. He's so goddamn good with
Spielberg.
That thing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
You want to talk about broken? He's like God tier. So.
Yeah, he is.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I do want. Okay. How about animated?
Oh, right, my favorite category.
Yeah, I think this is easy for me.
It's easy for me too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's one you mentioned a long time ago, and I watched it. I think it's got to go Mitchell's versus the Machines.
It's got to go to Mitchell's versus the Machines.
So much heart.
Here's the problem, though. There are 3 Disney movie nominated, and they always just give it to a Disney movie, no matter what. So it's probably just going to go to a fucking Disney movie.
What, like Encanto?
I would think Encanto would be like the safe choice, although I think Luca is the best of those 3 Disney movies nominated.
No, I watched. Because isn't Raja on there too?
Yeah, Raya.
I watched all of them. I really liked your take, and you thought that Luca was a nice little cute fun movie, whatever.
Yep.
But no, I thought that the Encanto,
I like Encanto.
The music blew my mind. Like,
I mean,
that's some of the best Disney music we've had in quite some time.
I know it's really good, and I'm
we
really
don't talk
bummed.
about Bruno. Like I
was just about to say, when we don't talk about
that.
Bruno, I can't believe that they didn't nominate that for best original song. Out of all the songs from Encanto, they didn't nominate We Don't Talk About Bruno, one of the best fucking Disney songs in years.
Well, what's wild is, so I watched Encanto, and like for the next few days, I kept singing, kind of going over one of the songs in my head. And then I kept seeing articles all over the place for We Don't Talk About Bruno, not the one that I was singing.
Oh.
So so I'm like, wow, this movie's got some bops. So
yeah, my only big snub in animated feature film. I'm sad that Belle didn't get nominated. That's the Japanese animated movie by one of my favorite animation directors, Mamoru Hosoda. Didn't get nominated. Very sad. Definitely could have kicked Raya and the Last Dragon out of there and put Belle in. Would have been a much better nomination, but whatever.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Last thing, and then we can go on to talk about Licorice Pizza.
Okay.
I got to imagine that this is some kind of record, but the film Flea. I don't know if you saw Flea yet.
No, I have not seen it.
Flea got nominated in animated feature film, international feature film, and documentary feature film. Got nominated in all three of those categories. I got to imagine that that's the first movie to ever do that. That's pretty cool.
It does seem like those are three disjointed categories. Like
but the thing is, it is all three of them. It is a animated documentary film that is from like fucking Denmark or some shit.
No, it's crazy. When you said Flea, I was thinking it was FL, like the bug Flea,
like the bass player from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea.
Sure, yeah, but no, it's
no, it's Flea, like Runaway.
Yeah, Runaway. So, all right, well, yeah, documentary. I don't really get a chance to see too many of the Oscar documentaries.
Well, Flea is on Hulu right now. It's a pretty good movie. I would recommend everyone check it out. Flea.
Sweet.
Okay.
Right.
Anything else in the Oscars we want to talk about? We'll probably talk a lot more about the Oscars just throughout the episode, just because we're talking about Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, proximity.
No,
I think we can move on. Okay. We don't really care about the supporting.
We can talk supporting if you want, but
no, I'm all right.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm all right.
This is the only thing I'll say about supporting. I'm very happy that Kirsten Dunst has an Oscar nomination.
I mean, she's been, her body of work is long, vast. She's always been talented. Yeah. That role in particular, she was pretty damn good in it. I think when I told you about it when I saw it, Jesse Plemons has always been two. It's got two of my guys in it, Benedict and Jesse Plemons. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time where I was kind of like, all right, Jesse. I was, and look at him now. He's got a freaking Oscar nomination. Yep. So I kind of missed big on that, but I definitely did think that Dunst deserved it. So that's pretty sweet.
So good. Yeah.
Judy Dench in Belfast. I feel like there's just some actresses that, they just default get one.
They wake up in the morning and everyone applauds them and gives them trophies. Like, she's so mediocre in Belfast.
I think she made me laugh, but yeah, that's how I kind of felt about the whole movie. But whatever. Yeah. All right, well, let's talk some Licorice Pizza, a Best Picture nomination.
Okay, let's get in our fucking U-Haul trucks and roll down the hill and go back to the 70s. What do you think?
But her friend is nowhere to be seen.
So how'd you become such a hotshot actor?
I'm
a showman. That's what I'm meant to do.
To the seats with the clearest view. Then she's hooked to the silver screen.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know who my girlfriend is?
Barbra Streisand?
Barbra Streisand.
Sand,
yeah, like sands, like the ocean, like
Barbra Streisand?
No, like Streisand.
Sand.
But the film is a sad thing for.
This is fate that brought us together.
But she's lived it 10 times or more.
Our roads took us here.
She could spit in the eyes of fools.
You're not my director.
They ask her to focus.
Do you really want to see my boobs?
Can I touch them?
See you tomorrow.
We're going back in time, not only in the 70s, but back in time on the podcast. Because we covered Paul Thomas Anderson season 2.
Yes.
This is your guy. This is your favorite director. Is he still your favorite?
Is he still my favorite director? Is that what you asked? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Is he still your favorite director?
I would just say my default answer is yes, but it's so fucking hard to say because every month I'm just diving into a new director and being like, oh my God, Mike Lee is the greatest director of all time. And then yeah, I don't know. It comes and goes, but he is definitely, I would say, just so near and dear to my heart, and I still feel that way. And after seeing Licorice Pizza, I'm just like, yeah, this guy just fucking never misses. So like, here we go.
Yeah, he's a mainstay in your top directors.
Yeah.
You kind of ride that wave. It's kind of like a revolving door.
Yep.
But so he did get nominated. He got nominated for Best Director.
Yeah, this movie only got 3 nominations, but 3 big ones. It got in Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, those are the really big ones.
Yeah.
So did you like the movie?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's really good. I love it.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, it's a fucking movie. It's been a while since I've seen it though, so this is going to be kind of an off the cuff memory.
It has been a while
podcast.
since I've seen it. Also.
Yeah. So Licorice Pizza.
Yep.
How do we even start talking about this thing? It seems to be kind of coming. It's a coming of age comedy. Probably pulled a lot from Anderson's childhood life. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems very much like he just had a bunch of cool stories from his childhood and just put them into the script. It takes place in the valley in Los Angeles, like most of his fucking movies do.
Yeah,
and it just seems like this seems like Belfast, but for Paul Thomas Anderson. It's like very much like, this is what happened in my childhood. Here we go.
So right off the bat, I mean, it's like you're hit over the head with Paul Thomas Anderson's style.
Yes.
Like this is very much shot like how he makes movies, and that's a good thing because his movies tend to be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, I'm looking at right now. Critics 91% certified fresh.
We love it.
66% audience. I feel like I'm kind of somewhere in the middle with that.
Okay.
And I'll get into my review a little bit later on. But there was things I really liked about it. There was things that I was like, that's not really necessary, but I get it. You know, I was kind of whatever. But I noticed as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, God, he looks so freaking familiar.
Did you not know going into the movie?
I this is what happened. I learned who was in the movie, and then I had forgotten.
Oh, okay. So you're watching this movie, and you're like, what is the vibe I'm getting from this guy?
I'm like, who does he remind me of? I'm like, God,
you're talking about Cooper Hoffman.
100%. This is Cooper Hoffman,
son of Philip Seymour Hoffman,
the
muse
in
of Paul Thomas
generational
Anderson.
Talent, Philip Seymour Hoffman, his freaking son, and now he is being used in PTA's movies. And I'm just like, you know, I'm just glad there are a few things right in the world.
Exactly. It feels like, thank goodness that they found each other, you know,
so that just it's happy. That makes me happy.
Oh my goodness. I think he's one of brilliant.
The leads. He is pretty damn good.
Damn good.
I did see some beginner, like I don't know, I don't want to say beginner's rust, but unrefined, maybe a little raw.
Well, yeah, and he's also playing like a 15-year-old kid who's like,
sure,
you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of, I think that totally suits him.
I get it. That's
But here's the real star of the show for me is fucking Alana Haim is a movie star.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about Alana Haim.
Okay, so she is a musician. She is part of the band Haim, in which she plays
a pop group named Haim. It is her and her 2 sisters
who are also in the movie.
Yep.
As are her parents. You got the whole Haim family to be in the movie.
I don't know what got into Paul Thomas Anderson's head to just like, hey, I'm going to cast this family.
It's because he's been making the Haim music videos for years. He's been making their music videos for years. He's like very close with their family.
Okay.
And he actually wrote this movie for her, like after knowing her for so long. So yeah, a lot of
after this movie, I was like, you know what? Let's do a little digging on her. I did listen to some of their songs, Haim's songs.
Haim's good.
And I happen to really like some of their songs.
Haim's good, man. Haim's just like they're like stoner pop music. Like they're
catchy,
really good.
You know, they got me like doing like a little head bob type
their new album that came out this most recent year is very good. Yeah, I like Haim a lot. My girlfriend was like, will you just listen to them finally? I'm like, yeah, I'll check them out. And like turns out they're fucking talented.
Yeah, I mean, Want You Back. I wrote this song, Don't Save Me Forever and Want You Back.
Yeah.
And I wrote Danielle, I thought was, I thought she was the prettiest. I don't know if that's matters or anything, but she's single.
She's the singer.
That's what I noticed.
I'm single and that's what I noticed. She's the singer, right, Danielle?
The middle. I don't know. It kind of looks like like the
two of them, Alana,
cellular bars.
I don't know. I don't know. They're all their
short,
names.
one's middle,
Yeah.
and one's tall.
Yes.
And I think they go in age too. Like the
Okay.
short is the youngest, the middle is the middle, and then the tallest
Alana
is
and
the
one of
oldest.
the other sisters look almost identical. And then I think the girl who's the singer, the sister who sings, she doesn't really look like them, which I think is interesting. But regardless, whatever. We
Sure.
could talk Haim all day, but like let's talk
Yeah.
Alana Haim. I think she's so freaking thrilling in this movie.
Yeah, she killed it, man. She was this movie doesn't work without her, obviously.
No, not at all.
It doesn't work without Cooper Hoffman either, but more so for Alana Haim.
Yeah.
She made her presence known from the opening scene. I think it's obviously it starts off with Paul Thomas Anderson following her in school.
Yeah.
Right on her butt or something.
Yeah, she's like working for the photography company who's taking like school pictures.
Yep.
And yeah, she's like trying to offer combs and mirrors to the kids, and then she meets Cooper in this scene as he's going to take his school photo.
Right off the bat. What is that? Like 10 seconds into the movie?
It's less than 1 minute. Because the first scene is a bunch of boys like combing their hair, and then someone throws a cherry bomb in the toilet and it explodes. And then the next like shot is them talking together.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one thing about this movie. I will say, what movie did Drive My Car? You mentioned that was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
This movie is, I want to say, 133 minutes long for its runtime.
Just a little over 2 hours.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It felt 3 hours for me.
What?
Yes. No, I know. I knew
Wait,
it.
what?
No, I'm not. No, I don't want. Just let's calm down for a sec.
I'm baffled.
It's only because it is a dialogue centric movie, because of the amount of actual dialogue that's taking place throughout the movie. There's a lot of speaking, and that takes time. They're just long drawn out scenes with a lot of talking that feel longer.
Yeah, but everyone has so much chemistry together, and it's just like, oh my, I do not think this movie feels long at all. When I got out of the theater, I was surprised it wasn't like a 100-minute movie. Like the movie flew by for me. That's crazy.
Oh no, this is one of the rare times I looked at my phone. I'm like, geez, what is it, 1 a.m.? And it was like, 9.
What is happening?
That's an exaggeration.
What's going on?
But you get my point. It felt long. There is a lot. It's a dialogue centric film, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's one of the strengths of a Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
All of his movies are dialogue centric. He doesn't have like superheroes flying and blowing up buildings. Like,
sure. I mean, but even with There Will Be Blood, you see a lot of oil explosions, oil.
Sure.
There's action. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. On to my next guy. Hoffman and Haim are stars. Very talented. Right there.
They're both stars. I think that I don't know if either of them are going to act again.
What?
I just like, this was his first movie. And I mean, he kind of had to get convinced by PTA to do it. Because would you want to follow in your father's footsteps? You know what I'm saying? If that was your dad,
I don't know. Once in a generational talent. Yes.
You would want to try and follow in his footsteps, huh? I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, I'm going to go be a janitor or something. Like, I'm not going to fucking disappoint myself. I'm not going to be able to pull that weight.
So you're forfeit the match before it even starts.
Absolutely. I'm not dealing with that.
Wow.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I mean, he's so young. Who knows if he's going to
James right there.
And then Alana Haim's a musician, and he specifically wrote the movie for her. So it's not like she's out there auditioning for movies or anything. This just happened to be a project that kind of came to fruition because of their relationship. So I don't know if either of them are going to keep acting, but hot damn, I'm just so taken by Alana Haim. She has so much attitude, and she holds the camera so well. There are so many scenes in this movie that are just her making faces and looking. I'm thinking specifically of when she's watching him at the show, the variety show that she takes him to, and she's just beaming while watching him perform, and she keeps leaning over to people being like, I'm his chaperone, and she's just so proud to be there. Just her looks in this movie are enough for me to be like, movie star. She's a movie star. Look at her.
Well, I mean, you're talking about their relationship, Cooper Hoffman and Alana Haim in the movie. Because it's a love story.
It is sort of, yeah, kind of. I don't know. I have a bunch of things to say. We should probably talk about it, huh?
Talk about what the is there something a little problematic that you want to talk about?
I personally, no, I don't think it's problematic, because it's we could talk about it, but everyone in the world seems to have had a meltdown about the fact that Alana Haim plays a 25-year-old and Cooper Hoffman's playing a 15-year-old in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, it's just weird
Right.
that it was just
You
weird
said that you said that was 25 to a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're in the camp. This movie is criminal.
Well, I mean, it is criminal.
Okay. I mean, sure. Yeah. I mean, she even calls it out in the fucking beginning of the movie. It's illegal for her to be talking to him. Like, it's not like the characters in this movie don't know that that's a thing.
Right.
I don't know what you're getting at here.
No, I don't know. It is a little.
I don't want to. We can get into it if you want, but like, I don't want to get into the fucking bigger picture of like, okay, so does that mean like The Godfather's a bad movie because they kill people in The Godfather? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
Okay, sure, I guess, but it was A, the 70s, and B, this movie's about like a fucking 15-year-old who's going on 40 trying to become like an entrepreneur, and a woman who's 25 in arrested development because she doesn't know what the fuck to do with their life. Like, it's a movie about people, and like, this shit happens in real life. Like,
no, I get it.
The fact that people are so hung up on it is so fucking weird to me, especially when Red Rocket came out this year, which is literally a movie about a porn star grooming a 17-year-old woman to make porn with him. Like, that's the movie people should be getting mad about. But no, it's this one for some reason, which is like a perfectly innocent like love story that ends with a woman being like, "Oh, I love you, Gary," and then it ends, and I'm like, well, they're not going to fucking last 5 seconds. Like,
well, no, I think people are just because it's the
people don't want to read into movies.
It's still minor's minor. I get it, but
like because the movie doesn't fucking spell out what it's about, like on page 1 and show it to everyone, being like, "It's okay, we know that this is immoral." Like, go fuck yourself. Watch the movie.
I know, and I think what the audience
also, aren't you just fucking charmed by them? Haven't you been a 15-year-old who had a crush on a 25-year-old? Like this movie is so good.
But when you see them almost like start like fooling around, like and starting to a little bit,
they kiss in the movie. They don't really fool around.
Well, he's almost about to like grab her boob and whatnot,
right? But she's asleep in that scene.
Even better, great.
I mean, yeah, he's a fucking shitty, horny 15-year-old. He just constantly wants her to show his tits.
I get it. The only thing I kept thinking was like, if it was reversed and it was a 25-year-old guy and a 15-year-old girl, like that dude is going to prison, and I don't know. It's just,
I mean, what is he? Do you not love Dazed and Confused? Should Matthew McConaughey not be in prison in that movie? Like, that's not the case in that movie either. Everyone loves that guy.
I didn't see him like.
He's literally out of high school being like, they keep staying the same age, like licking his fucking fingers.
Talking about it is different from Cooper Hoffman being about it. You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about? Nothing happens in this movie.
About it.
Nothing happens in this movie. They kiss one time at the end of the movie.
He was about to feel her up while.
Okay, so he's gonna. I don't want to fucking do this. So you're mad that he's gonna feel her up.
I was wondering why.
It's a movie.
Can he make it like 22 and 17? He could still
that's
been
not the
in
movie.
High school. I know.
I don't know. Sure, I guess you still would have been mad though because he's still underage.
I wouldn't have been as mad as a 10-year-old difference in a 15-year-old kid.
All right,
and a 25-year-old adult.
All right, cool. So now can I now that like we've had that argument, now can I completely like explain to you why I think it's fucking brilliant?
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so this is a movie about a 25-year-old woman who has I don't know what you want to call it, a fling, I guess. I don't know. They become really close friends, and the two of them are essentially constantly looking at each other like, what are we doing? You know, like he obviously is pursuing her the entire movie, and she keeps blowing him off. And you're kind of wondering, like, it's like a will they, won't they thing. And they have all this fucking chemistry, and they're just so fucking fun to watch together. And like all the other kids who hang out, like his little brother is so funny too. And it's just like this kind of chaotic summer movie. Now, you could read this two ways. You could just read the base reading, which everyone seems to be doing, which is like, women shouldn't be flirting with little boys. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we all know.
Well, just adults and kids. That's it. That's
You're right, and this is somehow the first movie that's ever gotten flack for it. It's bizarre.
No,
I mean, it is.
There's a lot of other movies that have portrayed it and have also gotten flack. Let's be real.
I don't think they have.
Okay.
I literally just brought up Dazed and Confused, and you were like, "Yeah, whatever, he's fine." And I'm like, well, "No, he's not."
No, I mean, if I saw him like pursuing or like the level of
what do you think he's doing there?
These characters.
What do you think he's doing there? He stays at the high school all the time and flirts with people. And
he's what I see as failure because he has done nothing in that movie. He talks about it, but he does nothing.
I mean, not that you've seen because he's not the main character.
Well,
he's supposed to be the cool guy. Everyone thinks he's so cool. Why do you think they think that?
cool guys, they talk a lot, but they're not, they don't necessarily are about that. So
Okay, whatever. Regardless, this is how I read this fucking movie. Alana and her name is Alana in the movie, so that actually works. Alana and Gary in the movie. Anytime they're not on screen together, they keep running back towards each other. There's a lot of running in this movie. Like when he goes to jail, she sprints after him. And when she's on the motorcycle with Sean Penn and she falls off, he sprints after her. And they're constantly running towards each other in this movie. Like they're drawn together, right? Like they're fucking magnets because they're just fucking destined or whatever. This is how I read their relationship. This is a movie about a woman who keeps embarrassing herself. She's stuck in fucking limbo between childhood and adulthood, doesn't know what the fuck to do with her life. She meets this cool young kid who likes her and is paying a ton of attention to her. And she's like, yeah, fuck it. I guess I'll hang out with this kid. And no matter how many times it disappoints her, no matter how many times she is let down by the relationship and how disappointing it is to hang out with him because he can be kind of a shit because let's face it, the kid's a fucking shit, right?
I mean, yeah. What's the core of his character? He's kind of like a get rich quick.
He's very a lot of schemes. He acts so old, like is the thing. He's always acting so above. But whatever. The kid's a little shithead, and he keeps disappointing her. I think and she keeps being disappointed in herself that she keeps fucking going back to him to hang out with him. And the movie ends on this exact same thing, except for it ends on a high note. This is a movie about a woman who can't fucking stop running back to her youth, and he's representative of that. He is literally representing like what it's like to be a fucking kid in the summer and like run around and with your friends and have all these dreams and ambitions. And she just keeps being drawn to that. Like that's how this movie plays for me. And you can totally flip that on its head and read it the other way, where he is just drawn to her because he's like, oh my God, I'm a man now. This woman, like she represents my future and she's a grown woman and I'm going to fucking go after her. And I'm a big I'm a big dick swinging man. And it doesn't work out for them.
No, she at one point you see her kind of change when she takes she's taking a big job. That's she's taking a big job. She finds a man who she's attracted to, a grown man, and she's like, oh, I'm a politician now. Isn't that the line? She's like, I'm a politician. Yeah, she becomes too big for her britches.
Yes.
And there's a little subplot where at one point I think she's interested.
Well, this movie's all subplots. We haven't said that. This movie is just a bunch of short, it's all vignettes.
Yeah, that's the bingo. You just hit bingo right there. I didn't. Why is it's super subplot heavy? How many of these subplots actually? I
mean, it's not like subplots. It's not. It's just on a movie with any plot. Like it doesn't have a plot, and it's just a story about characters over a summer. It's not really about like going from point A to point B. It's just sort of them drifting. It's very Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused. I didn't really
look at as kind of like an overarching like. Where they start with her having this kind of like annoyance or disdain for Gary to the ending where like literally the movie ends with I think she says I love you.
She says I love you, Gary. Yeah.
So that's from point A to point B, that's the overarching, and then in the middle you have all these like, oh, we're gonna take a detour with Bradley Cooper over here.
God, that's so
now
good.
We're gonna take a detour over here with Sean Penn. While all these actors kill it in their roles. Like they're obviously all on tens. Like Sean Penn blew my mind. He was killing it. Same with Bradley Cooper, killed it. Like
Bradley Cooper comes into this movie for what, 20 minutes max?
That's what it seems like. The same thing with Sean Penn. Like,
but Sean Penn doesn't have nearly like Sean Penn shows up. He's a little bit of an asshole and like he's out of the movie. Like Bradley Cooper shows up and is seemingly tearing down the walls of reality around them. Like he is so extreme in this movie. It's amazing.
I was just like why? I don't know. I guess I was just trying to. What are we doing here? Why are we at Bradley Cooper's house with these water beds? And it's like, I get it. It just felt like
it caught me by surprise the first time I watched the movie how plotless it is. Like I was like, oh, I didn't realize. Like when he started selling water beds, I was like, wait, he's doing this now. And then of course Bradley Cooper's scene happens, and I'm like, oh, this movie's just a bunch of like, it's just like a bunch of like short stories almost strung together by them like sort of floating through their summer or however long it is. And it took me by surprise. And the second time I went and saw it, like knowing that it's just basically a bunch of shorts, fucking plays so well. It's so good.
Sure. And then he's gonna
tons of movies are like this.
And now we're gonna drop in the gas shortage. That's
Yeah, that's going on in the background.
These two subplots will have to deal with the gas shortage in the background.
They're not plots. They're not even subplots. They're just like things that happen to the characters.
Sub happenings, whatever you want to call them. I mean, they're things that I guess there is no. Is there a purpose to them?
No. Like it's just showing you these characters in different situations throughout this time together, and like how it changes them.
I want to talk about positive. This is one of the best freaking soundtracks I've ever heard.
The soundtrack rips. It's
in
so
any
good.
movie. It just kept just hit after hit after hit. It was just in it. Weren't they kind of 70s centric?
I mean, yeah, of course.
So it's just
you got Bowie in there. You got McCartney. Like, yeah, the soundtrack just fucking.
Everything was matched up with what was going on the screen.
We are really all over the place, but. Yeah, like the soundtrack's great. We have not mentioned that Gary Cooper plays a child actor, or Cooper Hoffman. I'm sorry, Cooper Hoffman plays the child actor in the movie. Like we haven't mentioned that that's like his thing.
Oh right, yeah, he did do that for like the first
Yeah, well then he grows out of it. Like he goes to an audition and they are all like, "Oh wow, you got Maya Rudolph." Remember, she's like, "Oh, you got so big," and she has this like look on her face. And then he leaves the audition and they all look at each other like, "Yeah, he's too big now. He can't do this anymore." So that's why he starts selling water beds.
Right. Okay. That's fine. They gave that look right there. A lot of little good bit players that popped up.
Of course. Yeah. Yep. Maya Rudolph. Yeah. We've already mentioned Sean Penn, Bradley Cooper, Tom Waits shows up for a second. John C. Reilly is in one scene in the background. He plays.
I was like, what? Why is John C. Reilly? Because that's his boy. His boy. Yeah. From the first movie all the way to Hard 8, all the way up.
Yep. All the way back. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a lot of like. I guess we could go kind of semi in order and talk about like all the things that happen. Cause I think the way it builds up to the end is very good. And I think it's like really, really well realized at the end, sort of the emotional impact of everything, but we'll get to that.
You like you just said that kind of the whole first crux of the movie is they become friends and he goes on the stage play. What was the name of the show that he goes on?
I don't remember the name of the show, but it had kind of like a fucking like Brady Bunch like vibe to it or something. I don't know. It's like a live show.
During this, Alana meets Gary's friend / I guess frenemy, rival, whatever, performer.
Oh and God, he is so fucking funny.
Oh, I see. I thought, that's a face I want to punch.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yep. Rude. He's so good.
No, I want to see that hair flap.
Oh, that's rude.
That long hair. And
he was like, in Booksmart, Skylar Gisondo. He's so fucking funny.
Gary's like, hey, don't think about it. And what does he do? Like he goes after it, and he starts dating Alana.
I'm assuming I got the vibe that he was like a little older than Gary is.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, he starts dating Alana. There's like okay, sure. I've already gone through that, but okay. This is literally what I'm talking about. The entire movie, she keeps trying to go to men who are older and older and older. And it keeps disappointing her and scaring her because like facing adulthood is fucking terrifying. So like, yeah, whatever. We'll get past that. But yeah, she goes and takes this guy's what's the fucking name of the movie? Like Lance or something like that.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. She takes him home and there's a really funny scene where he's at their dinner with their family and they offer him to say like the Jewish blessing. And he's just like very politely like, no, I'm an atheist. And they're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's so many good lines where she takes him outside and she's like, show me your dick. What does your penis look like? I don't know. The normal penis, I guess.
Yeah.
God, you just don't think Paul Thomas Anderson is funny. And I just think he's so fucking funny.
I almost just said that because, that's where we kind of diverted on his season that we did was Inherent Vice. I didn't really think it was that funny. And you thought it was funny. So that kind of is echoed here a little bit.
You don't think this movie's funny? Oh my God. What do you think is funny? What's a funny movie to you?
That's the thing about funny. I think humor.
No, I'm genuinely asking because like I can't imagine watching this or Inherent Vice and not being like, this is fucking hysterical.
Okay, what's a funny movie? Murdered by Death.
Okay, no, but like okay, obviously, yeah, you've said that a million times. I'm just saying like
more up to date, scary movie.
No. You're just like only movies that have like set up and deliver punchlines are funny.
but there's just things in there that are guaranteed to make me laugh still this
Yeah.
day upon my 100th rewatch.
That's funny. I mean, there is one of the funniest laughs of all time in fucking Scary Movie 3 where the kid throws the crayons at the wall and Regina Hall just says, "Now who the fuck threw that?" That's one of the funniest fucking things in the world. That will always make me laugh. Oh, that's so good. She's so fucking funny.
This bitch's ass, Sydney. Oh, just so good. It's countless, but
yeah.
So
I just think Paul Thomas Anderson's comedy is like in every single movie, there's something that's going to make me fucking just like bowl over. And this movie's just full of it. Like, this is maybe his funniest movie. I don't know. Like this, I don't know. It's hard. Phantom Thread's also really fucking funny.
I'm gonna have to lean into you on that one because I'm not picking up on any of that vibes.
You're not picking up on any funny parts in this movie. This movie's
I'm not saying
this is a comedy.
There were some parts where I chuckled and smiled, kind of like with Inherent Vice, but where I'm laughing out loud, no.
You're not laughing out loud at Bradley Cooper in this movie?
No, not at all.
I don't know what to tell you. We're gonna have to wrap up the episode because I don't know what the fuck to talk about.
No, if anything,
not at all. He's so funny. He's so funny when he's like leaning into. He's like, "I love Tail. I just love Tail so much," and he's just saying like little shit like that. Or when he runs after the women, and he's like, "Hey, you guys like peanut butter sandwiches?" Like he just says the most insane shit because he's fucking coked up out of his mind. It's so fun. The Barbara Streisand bit?
No,
nothing.
No,
I genuinely don't know how to talk comedy with you. We can never cover a comedy director.
Well, that might be tough because maybe there's one coming in the future.
I hope not, because I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. God.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong here.
You're not in the wrong. It's just so insane for me.
I think humor and comedy is one of the most subjective things.
Of course it is. Yeah. I mean,
because everyone has their
subjective,
own.
Like,
sure, but this it's kind of a little more because I don't know. Do you like slapstick? Do you like?
I love slapstick. I love all kinds of comedy. I just like
dry. There's.
It's just crazy to watch a movie like this, which is not a movie about like jokes. Or a movie about, or like a slapstick physical comedy. It's just people say things that are so fucking absurd or like perfectly timed. And I'm just like, I can't believe they pulled that off with just such little, setup or anything like that. And it just is crazy to me that you're just like unaffected by any of that.
Well, I know because I'm just thinking to myself, I say stuff.
No. You don't say any of the shit that Bradley Cooper says in this movie. He's playing John Peters, one of the most coked up, insane human beings in the world. He says the craziest shit in this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
his timing is perfect.
I kind of just felt as I'm seeing like the big stars, I'm like, oh, what are we doing here? And I was just going around with these kids and this, I'm going on this journey around Cal or LA.
Have you only seen it once?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch it again. Now that you know that it's just sort of like light and like sort of floats around. Maybe it'll help. I don't know because like
it probably will.
The first time I watched it, I was sort of waiting for something to happen, and I'm like, about the halfway through. But like, you watch it again, and you just fucking like let all these funny moments slip over you. It's fucking great.
Sure, maybe that's on me for going into it so blind. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at. I was all right. What are we doing? I'm going around with these kids. I'm enjoying everything that has to do with the two leads. Like I want to see more of that, and they're like, oh, now you're introducing me to we're gonna hear about John or Sean Penn's motorcycle story, and just like have a little jam. And the best thing about that scene in particular is the little faces they were making at each other throughout the
where she sticks her tongue out at him.
Love it. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I want more of this. Like I was tuning out Sean Penn in a sense.
I absolutely was. Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I also love her line there where he's like talking about some fucking nonsense. Sean Penn is talking about some nonsense on some film he made or something. And she's like looking at him all dreamy eyed and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm sexy, right? It's so funny how desperate she is to be loved. It's like,
I think I did laugh out loud at that one.
That was good.
That was a good one. I like
God.
that. Some of them hit. Maybe I could probably remember a few more if it.
It's just crazy that you and I are such good friends and have known each other for so long, and then like we watch the same movie, and I'm like, how are we friends? How does this? We have such different like perspective on what makes these things good. If
we're sitting there watching that movie, and that scene, and she says, I'm can't remember exactly, but I'm sure I probably laughed at that line. I do remember laughing at look. I will say this. You asked me what's funnier than Inherent. This is much funnier than Inherent Vice.
I agree. Oh, I mean, yeah, but you were really down on Inherent Vice.
I was pretty down on
really didn't like that movie. So I'm not surprised that you said that. I agree with you because I think this movie
just felt like that movie was trying very hard, where this one just was like, don't try, just chill, just relax.
I'm glad you said that, because that sort of brings me to my next point, which like off the top of my head, I don't have any other examples of this, but this feels like a movie that probably has been made a lot of times by other directors, where as soon as this movie started and like things started kind of getting going, I was so taken by how like effortless it felt. Like it feels like Paul Thomas Anderson just like called up some of his friends and he was like, hey, let's go shoot a movie. And they just sort of like did it. And it's masterful. The shots are beautiful. The camera movements are really, really fun. All the performances are amazing. The music's great. I think it's written beautifully, but it just feels like so like he just rolled this on off his back. Like Phantom Thread feels like not tortured, but like I could feel the effort in Phantom Thread. It's a beautifully crafted movie, and I could feel how much work went into it. And this one, it just kind of feels like he was like, I don't know, guys, let's like fucking grab a beer and like make a movie. And like it feels so fun.
I think that speaks to how good Paul Thomas Anderson is getting at making movies.
It's
to
really
where
weird.
He can just churn out something so seamless. And just, I keep coming back to, and he does this with all his movies. He creates very real characters.
Oh yeah.
And these characters are so real, especially the two leads, especially Gary, are a little obnoxious at times.
Gary's very obnoxious. Yeah. He's a shit. He's 15. He's a shit.
That's not a negative. That's a positive for how accurate he's able to craft characters.
And to that effect, Alana is also sort of annoying. Like, because she's an
wrote
idiot.
Characters, plural. I wrote both. There's an S on this word. That is a note with an S. Character, both of them.
But they're also so endearing. You love both of them.
Well, I mean, do you love them?
Absolutely. Why not? I love both of them.
And if you knew these two characters in real life, would you find them a little obnoxious?
No, of course not. But like, I also love Joaquin Phoenix and the Master, and like, I don't want to be within 1,000 light years of that guy.
Yeah, no.
They're movie characters. I'm not saying I want to fucking like be their brother.
I get it. We're on the same track here.
Do you love Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight? Do you really want to hang out with that guy?
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I think that's a positive. I love that. That's one of his tools that he has in his tool belt. Paul Thomas Anderson is just, he's able to craft real characters and is on 10 with this movie, especially with the two leads. I think they just murder it. They're excellent.
Yeah, I'm going to say something maybe controversial, and I'm sure you'll probably disagree with me right away, but I think Alana Haim is as good as like Daniel Day-Lewis or Joaquin Phoenix in any of PTA's movies. Like, I think that she's sort of on that level of like totally plugged into exactly what kind of movie he makes, and she's just in the pocket in every scene. But I don't know, that might be fucking controversial, but whatever.
No, it's definitely a hot take, putting her up there with the greatest of all time actor.
Hey,
I do think she's locked in. Like, she's that, like, I agree with that. She's one
of my favorite like PTA characters.
Okay. I mean, like he wrote it for her.
Yeah.
And this seems like it's her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you were to see her on the street, it would still be her.
I feel like she would be dressed just like this and like acting just like this. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, is that hard to do? Just be yourself.
I mean, in a movie, I'm sure. Yeah. You have like, here's the thing is here's the thing that you're totally underestimating about how good she is. She fucking holds the camera like a pro. Like, he just puts the camera on her in some scenes. She doesn't have any fucking words. She doesn't really have much to do. And she's just like shining. Like, she knows exactly how to look on camera. There's a scene where they call each other on the phone, and it's just this long scene of the two of them
breathing.
Yes, just breathing. And like it cuts to him and he's like blushing and he looks kind of embarrassed and like he's not saying anything. And then it cuts to her and she just looks like so invested in what's going on, and her eyes are like glowing, and the way that she's cradling the phone is so specific. It's so good. I think she's so magnetic, and like, yeah, okay, sure, like he wrote the part for her, and maybe it's not like some weird, she's not doing a fucking Irish accent and like fighting in a war, sure, but like she's so good in this.
I'm just first off, let me say that scene on the phone is one of my favorites in the movie. It hurts.
So good. It's so good.
The scene we're talking about is right after Gary sees her with the older guy that he told not to mess with Alana, and he ended up messing with Alana, but she wanted it, so whatever. He goes home and calls her, and she's all excited. He tells her it's his name.
He tells the sister it's Lance.
Yeah.
He tells the sister it's Lance, and she's like, Lance is on the phone. So yeah,
and
Alana runs.
And
her voice is different when she says
so
hi.
Excited. She's so excited. And he know, and as soon as she is acting like that on the phone, you can see it on his face across on the other line, like, oh, it hurts him. And then like through this course, she ends up realizing this is all face acting. She realizes that it's actually Gary, and then she's hurt. They're both hurt, and then it's just more silence, and it's just excruciating, and you just want to, oh God, it's brilliantly done.
Can I want to like take a brief detour just about this scene, like a behind the scenes thing. I was listening to the DGA podcast, and Paul Thomas Anderson did like an interview for the DGA, and he was talking about this scene, and he was talking about like he's known Cooper Hoffman since he was like 2 days old, right? Like this kid grew up knowing Paul Thomas Anderson, so they're really close. And he's talking about how he sort of manipulated him in this scene because he told Cooper, like, I guess the way they shot it is they literally shot it like on the phone together. It's not like he's just like holding a prop phone. And he told Cooper like, hey, you're just gonna like hold the phone and she's gonna be breathing on the other line and you guys are gonna be like kind of, uncomfortable in this moment. And he told Alana, he told Cooper, no matter what, don't say anything, like just play it completely cool and like whatever. And he told Alana to just say the dirtiest, like sluttiest shit in the world on the phone. So the cut that you see of him holding the phone and blushing is him listening to her say like really inappropriate shit, and that's why he's looking like that. It's so good. It's so smart.
Oh wow.
It's so smart just to get that reaction out of him.
Love that.
Yeah, it's cool. Sweet. Yeah. Anyways, this is great. I mean, that's a great interview if you want to go fucking listen to that on the DGA podcast. It's great.
Nice. Maybe I will give that a listen.
Okay, so what other I guess we got to shout out John Michael Higgins for the most racist, poorly tasted joke in the entire fucking movie that doesn't really make any sense and grinds things to a halt. Him and his weird like Chinese wife.
Which time, dude?
Well, it only happens twice. It only happens twice in the movie.
I just
what's this joke?
What is he? Yeah, what's this character? What is this?
What is this? Like listen.
It happens in real life.
No, it's bad. No, Brent, we're on the same side on this one. This one's bad. This one's bad and shouldn't be in the movie.
But if you go down that route, you can say that somewhere this is out there.
Right. But the other thing we were talking about is what the movie is about, and it is about like youth. This thing is nothing. This is just racist and bad. And the joke is obviously supposed to be on John Michael Higgins. Like we're supposed to laugh at him and be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. But it's so cartoonish and big, and it happens twice in the movie, and it's just like doesn't go anywhere. The character means nothing, and it's
nothing
just sort
bad
of
happens to this guy.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing happened. Like it's just a nothing.
It's just there. It's like, hey, check out this racism. Yes. Check out this racist guy.
I think it's probably the worst thing PTA's ever put in any of his movies.
I just don't get it. Like, I think I agree with what you said. Where on my second viewing, I'll probably look at a bunch of these things, but that's another thing where I was just like, I don't get it. Why is this here?
Well, that's sure.
Kind of how I felt with a lot of these elements, but especially that I was like, ugh, like the one I did like was the when he tells her, just say yes to everything. Just say yes.
Listen, Brent, we will get to that scene. We will get to that scene. That scene is fucking outstanding. No, but like what I was talking about with like my second viewing and knowing that it's a lot less, it's just not about anything. What I like about that is like when you get to the scene with the audition scene, or when you get to the scene with Benny Safdie, you get to kind of like, you're like, all right, yeah, this is like this is that chapter in the story. Okay, cool. Like I'm going with this. Like those are fun. The John Michael Higgins thing sucks because it's nothing. It's one scene. He's very racist and weird. He's gone. He means nothing. I still don't really know why they have a relationship. And then later in the movie, he shows back up and he's like, this is my other Chinese wife. And he does the joke again. And it's really bad. And it's not a story. It's not a short part. How all these other things I'm talking about are the Sean Penn, the Bradley Cooper, the audition. These are all short parts of the movie. This is just one scene and it fucking is offensive and bad. I hate it.
The other big parts, the other happenings that you want to call them, they do. If you dig deep enough, you can see, oh, this helped shape the Alana in this direction. Oh, this did Cooper in this, Gary in this direction. The one thing I did like, well, and then they brought it all back around. What you mentioned earlier with the fact that they're always running to each other.
Yeah, and
at the end, Paul Thomas Anderson does this cool device, whatever technique, where he just shows the flashbacks of kind of them running throughout the course of the film. Loved it. It was one of the best parts of the movie. But when you try to think about what John Michael Higgins' character was, he was a restaurant owner that kind of aided Gary in providing what did
I don't know. He owns a Chinese restaurant. And he is affiliated with Gary's mother because Gary's mother is like a PR person who is representing the restaurant. And the only reason that Gary ever talks to him like later in the movie is because he wants to put up flyers for his new waterbed store. Like that's the only reason he talks to him later is he's like, "Can I put up my flyers for this waterbed store?"
Does he say no?
He says no. Yeah, he says no because he doesn't match their aesthetic or whatever.
It doesn't even benefit.
No, it's nothing. Get it out of here. And I love John Michael Higgins and I think he's funny, but it's just a terrible joke. Like, I'm like, okay, he's committed and this is funny, I guess. But like, God, like, I hate
from
him.
a comedic standpoint, he's the funniest person in the movie.
No, that's stupid.
Who's funnier?
Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper's the funniest person of the year. He's so funny in this movie.
No, from straight up comedian standpoint, no. John Michael Higgins is.
I have nothing to say to you. That is false. Bradley Cooper's so fucking funny in this movie.
I think we're both just on that Bradley train right now, but
no, I think he's fucking hysterical in this movie. He's my winner for best supporting actor. Is this performance?
All right, heard it here first.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay, so yeah, we talked about that one. Let's talk about the audition scene because boy, oh boy, is it fucking good.
Probably, like I said, I probably think this is the I enjoyed this. Probably smiled the hardest throughout the movie in this scene.
You can say you laughed. It's okay. You could admit that you laughed at a scene.
I said I chuckled a few times in this movie.
Chuckled. This fucking this laugh lord over here. So yeah, Gary convinces Alana to go audition to be an actress because he thinks, I don't know, he just says she'd be good at it. And there's this great scene where they're driving to the audition and he's like, just say yes to whatever she asks you. Like, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can sing. Yes, you can dance. They get into the audition room and the agent who's doing it is Harriet Sansom Harris, who was in Phantom Thread. She was the woman with the dress, the wedding dress, who got drunk and they had to peel the dress off of her. Okay. She's very funny in Phantom Thread. She is so funny in this scene. I think she's hysterical in this scene. The scene is just her asking Alana all these crazies, like, can you shoot a bow and arrow? Can you ride a horse? What languages do you speak? And obviously Alana just sells it way too hard by saying she can speak like 8 languages.
And she keeps
adding. Yeah, she ends on Latin.
Latin. Like that's the one where like
or does she end on no, I think she ends on like Portuguese because then the lady says like muy bueno or whatever. She gets that like that really overly. Oh God. All the close-ups of Harriet Sansom Harris are so funny. And there's this great long close-up after she asks what sports Alana does. And Alana says she knows Krav Maga. And she explains what it is. And the woman she goes from being like a pleasant agent to being most intense person. That's
funny. When I hear Alana say, I know Krav Maga. Like,
yeah, she said she knows Krav Maga, and like the lady's like, oh, like karate. She's like, no, it's more like stabbing people's eyes out with a pencil. And the lady's face gets so intense, and she holds this like shudder, and she's like, "You're a fucking fighter, aren't you?" And she gets really extreme. It's so funny. It's I don't know. That's probably my second favorite.
No, that's
it comes out of nowhere. She's like, "You're like a dog with a Jewish nose," or whatever she fucking says. Oh, it's so
That's
funny.
great. I loved it.
So funny. Oh God. Yeah, so that scene's great. Doesn't really go anywhere. Like that scene just ends with
No, that's just another
showing
thing.
him her
This
boobs.
is now for the next 20 minutes, Alana's gonna try to be an actor.
But she doesn't. That's not what happens in the movie. Like she kind of like goes and flirts with Sean Penn after this.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going down this road.
So you really don't like the format of the movie, huh?
Not in particular. No, I didn't.
Do you not usually like these kind of movies, like stoner kind of like not really about anything movies?
I think I do tend to like a little more direction.
Yeah, you like more of like an actual overlying plot.
Sure. I mean,
I'm trying to think like movies like
Fast
this.
Times at Ridgemont High. You can say what happened. It's just we're following a group of couple people and just.
Well, I was gonna say like Fast Times
life.
at Ridgemont High, Dazed and Confused, movies like this that are like not really about anything.
Yeah, we're taking place over a course of a year. You can
even Boyhood.
I was going to say Harry Potter. Like, we're watching.
Well, no, Harry Potter.
Because there's a lot of other. Yeah, there's a ton of other things. But
Dark Lord is coming.
We're watching. This is Harry's freshman year at school. You get what I'm saying. Obviously,
but like stuff like Lady Bird, I remember you were kind of like not super on like into Lady Bird, right? Like these sort of coming of age movies that don't really have much to do with like plot. They're just like, by the end of this movie, the character will be like a little bit more enlightened in one way or another, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think I would
not
agree
your
with
kind
that
of
statement.
movie.
It depends on how much. It depends on how much they grow. Like for instance in Licorice Pizza, these characters don't grow. They're kind of the same.
No, they don't really grow, but they are learning things. I mean, just because it's not like spelled, but just because like she doesn't come out of one scene and be like, and now I know that John Peters is a bad man or whatever. Like, it's not that she's like
obviously don't hit me over the head with it, but
no, but like like I feel like let's
the
just
only
get to
thing these characters really grew learned was that they have feelings for each other.
Yeah, I think the movie is all about like internal realization. It's not really about like someone growing up. It's just like about, especially on her part. I feel like the movie is mostly from her perspective.
Yeah,
and like
I did see a review that this was considered coming of age. I don't see that. I'm glad you said that earlier because I don't really think of it as that because to me they didn't really grow as much as other characters in other coming of age movies.
I mean, yeah, this movie isn't about like, it's not so drastic where it's like they come out the other end and they're like, and now I know what I want to do with the rest of it. Like, it's not about that at all. I think she gets the most. I mean, I'm not even gonna call it growth, but like I said, like she gets the most to realize and the most to learn in this movie. And like, sure, it's not the most clear. I don't know. Like,
it's all right. No, I mean,
I don't know if that's I don't. I
just felt like that was kind of a wrong tag for the film. Like I wouldn't call
it's the right tag. It's just like not every coming of age movie is fucking.
I don't need to be hit over the head with life lessons here. It can be
good.
Subtle.
Welcome to Licorice Pizza.
I just didn't see any. No, I didn't see any slices worth that had any knowledge on it. You know what I'm saying? There's no licorice on my pizza.
Good, because it sounds fucking nasty.
It actually is a thing in real life. I did look that up.
What, like
Licorice Pizza? Yep.
Oh, that's not what the movie's named after.
I know. I'm not going to guess what is going through. Do you know why it's named that?
Yeah. I mean, I had to look it up because I'm not from LA, but there was a famous record store called Licorice Pizza in the 70s in LA, which is clever because like a record looks like black, like licorice, and it's round like a pizza, so it looks like Licorice Pizza. And then like LP is for a record, and LP Licorice Pizza. It's a very multi-layered kind of weird reference. And obviously he's just like naming the movie to like place it in a certain time and like whatever. Thought that was interesting. I don't know. Sure. Go for it, Paul. Better than fucking Soggy Bottom, which is what you were going to name the movie originally.
Yeah. You're not getting any points for the back record, Licorice being like licorice similar, but you will get a point for the LP. So that's
good. That's good.
Yeah. So what else we got? So they're cruising along. We got the actress thing. We're in Sean Penn. You get this little motorcycle stunt where a drunken Sean Penn thinks he can relive one of these scenes. He's an old like classic actor, isn't he?
Really bizarre.
Established like
he's supposed to be William Holden, like that. He's supposed to be because his character's name is literally Holden.
Another thing that kind of
okay. Yeah, like
Okay.
he's and then like I'm guessing Tom Waits is playing like an amalgamation of like fucking like John Huston and up on like Sam Peckinpah and all these other like maverick extreme directors
Sure.
from the era. But yeah, I mean the scene is really just again, it's just Alana flirting with an older man trying to move to the next stage of her life and being like, yeah, no, this fucking actually sucks. I'm gonna go hang out with Gary because I understand that. And that's what happens. She gets on the bike with him. He takes off really fast and she flies off the back and Gary runs to pick her up. And then they like hold hands and run away again. Like this just keeps happening over and over in the movie. I want to talk about the Bradley Cooper chapter.
Okay. Go for it.
This fucking scene's insane. So they open up a waterbed company. They're selling waterbeds. They go to install a waterbed at Barbara Streisand's house, and John Peters is there. John Peters, a famous studio executive who is a fucking psychotic, illiterate madman, and he dated Barbara Streisand and climbed up the corporate ladder that way in the 70s. So they go to install this at his house. Bradley Cooper plays this character as apparently a hell spawn made of cocaine and ambition. And he's so fucking good and funny. And Brent is just sort of shrugging his shoulders like, I don't know, I guess it's funny, whatever. Fucking no fart jokes here.
I wow. I got to have Cornholio and Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. No.
I was completely entranced. Like Sean Penn, I was completely entranced by Bradley Cooper. Like these actors, they're epically talented, and you see it on display. So I'm like following along. I'm just not laughing along. You know what I'm saying?
Weird.
That's all.
Yeah, and like the scene's really weird because like Bradley Cooper threatens Gary, and then Bradley Cooper leaves, and the gas shortage is happening, and Gary like floods his house, and then they leave in their fucking cool big ass moving truck. And then Bradley Cooper's just walking down the street and gets in the truck, and you're like, oh my God, does he fucking know what they just did? And it turns out, no, he just ran out of gas. And like, it's this whole like side adventure that happens between them. And for me, I'm just like, I guess knowing John Peters, like before the movie, like I know who John Peters is. So I'm just like stressing the fuck out about like, what is this guy going to do to these poor kids if he finds out about the house? And thankfully, like that never really happens. Like the movie's just like, nope, next chapter, like whatever. But there's the great scene of Alana driving the truck down the hill backwards with no gas.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm all in. This
scene's great.
There's something happening in this film. Like I'm like, oh, there's possible antagonists and Bradley Cooper. Like, how's he going to react when he finds out his car ends up getting smashed? And
he smashes his fucking car.
I'm just like, now, do they lie in the trailer a little bit? Because in the trailer, it looks like he smashes some vehicles up at the gas station. Does he do that in the movie?
He does that like while the credits are rolling. Like while at the end credits are rolling, it shows like Bradley Cooper as John Peters, and like that's the scene that they show is him smashing the cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was in there. Right.
Yeah.
But no, I'm fully excited at this point because you're waiting for
I'm waiting
prior, you're introduced to the gas shortage, so you're wondering how else is it going to impact. It's already like stopped them from doing a couple other things. That one funny scene, they drive they start the truck, they go like 10 feet and it stops.
Yeah, it stops.
Yeah. So
which is why they're late to John Peters' house.
So it's going to keep adding to.
It's so thrilling, the building tension of like, okay, this is Bradley Cooper playing this character. It's really scary. It's really intense. He's manic, and you don't know what his next move is going to be. Okay, they just flooded his fucking house because he threatened them. That's fucking crazy. Like, all right, they're leaving. Oh shit, that's him walking down the street. Like, what's going to happen now? Oh my God, he's in the car. And you can see on both of their faces, like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. Like, does he know? And then it becomes apparent that like, no, he's out of gas. He needs them to give him a ride to the gas station. And they leave him there, and you're like, okay, that's probably like, thank goodness, like they can get away. Like they leave him at the gas station. No, they go back to his car. Gary gets out and starts smashing it to shit with his fucking crowbar. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Okay, finally they can get back in the truck and like drive away. That'll be nice, I guess.
Cherry on top.
And then fucking they're out of fucking gas, and they have to roll down to the hills of Los Angeles backwards. And Alana's a total badass in this scene. The part of the scene where she's like looking out the mirror, there's that great shot of like her looking into the mirror behind them and like just fucking driving like a badass. And when she looks out the opposite mirror, and Gary's sort of leaning forward, and she just puts her hand on his chest and slams him back in like one motion. I'm like, what a fucking badass. That's awesome. Like, she's fully in charge right now.
Yeah, this is epic. This is, this is the movie's on 10 right now. This is like this is the prime of the film. This is the crux. And what I love the most about it is this is all exciting. This is all fun. Like, finally, I'm like, oh, here, what's gonna happen? That you got a freaking madman already warned you. If you do anything,
I will fucking kill you.
Right. And then you not only do something, you do something twice. Like, technically 3 times, because you left him at the gas station.
Sure, yeah.
But my favorite thing about this is after this is all settled down, and they're like, it's Gary's kind of like messing around with his buddies. Alana's kind of off to herself, and you nothing is said, but she looks over and she's watching the younger boys kind of play around, and you can just tell the look on her face. She's thinking, I gotta grow up. Like, after everything that happens throughout the course of the night.
Things. It's really funny because she looks at them and they're all like jerking off the gas can and stuff, and like, you can tell she's like, I gotta get the fuck out of this situation. And she looks behind her, and there's that ad for the like city councilman, Benny Safdie. And so she's kind of like looking back and forth at like, God, do I want to go fuck with these kids anymore? Or should I like go get a job, like volunteering to help this politician out? And it's like, right, like there's the crossroads of her life right there, just another one that she can take. And then of course, this is another great fucking scene where Bradley Cooper like walks behind her and she looks like, oh fuck. And she like hides her face, and then he just runs after some women and asks them, I think, if they like peanut butter sandwiches. And I think that's so funny.
Okay, now that I loved.
It's so funny.
No, the fact that you're like, oh, it's not done yet. Oh wait, no, it's done.
It's done. Okay, it's done.
I
this guy's out of control.
Love that little technique. He's like, okay, all right, sweet. I can breathe now. Yeah. But no, even before she notices the councilman poster, and I think it's the sun is starting to come up. It's a very beautiful shot. Yeah. And the look on her face, it's a look of 1,000 words. It's brilliant. Yeah. Loved it. Great. When I think of Show Me, Don't Tell Me, that's one that will be one of the scenes that it comes to the forefront of my mind. Yeah. It's brilliant face acting. The fact that I know what I just heard dialogue without hearing dialogue. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. PTA.
That was a lot of what and that again, and that, I'm sorry, referencing the same podcast, but that interview he did, a lot of what he was talking about in that interview was like moments just like that, where he had a script or he had a scene written and they're shooting it, and he just kept going, let's just take out more words. Let's stop. You don't need to tell me that. You can just show me that. Like, and he would take out entire lines of his script because he was like, these characters know exactly, or these actors know these characters so well, they can totally relay all of that to us, which is cool that he knows how to do that. Yeah,
it's a pro.
He is a fucking pro. I don't know why I'm like, being like, good job, PTA. He knows what he's doing.
No,
Come on.
Just a freaking pro.
This is the last big part, is she goes and gets a job at Benny Safdie's office, who's running for like, I don't know, some sort of state representative position. I don't know. Local politician.
Sure.
She gets the job by like calling an old high school friend of hers who works for him, and she starts volunteering there. And this like gives her purpose, and she gets really overly like zealous about it, where she's like, I'm a politician, I'm an adult, I'm changing the world. And like every time she like, condescends to Gary about what she's doing.
Yeah, they're just that whole argument scene. They're just both so obnoxious. I'm just so annoyed with both of them.
It's great.
That's
a good movie.
The point of me. Yeah, that's hitting the bullseye.
Yeah. So like this whole scene's great because it's like she's got this job now and she feels fulfilled, and Gary sort of is jealous and whatever. This is all exactly what you would expect from the two of them at this point. Like it's revolving doors. We all know what's happening here. But what I fucking love about this final like chapter, I guess, is she kind of has like this open opportunity to move on to the next stage of her life, and she doesn't. You find out that Benny Safdie's gay, and he's being like,
well, she tries, right?
She tries both of them. Listen, she's horny the whole movie. She's trying to hook up with anyone.
No, I'm saying she's trying to move on and like grow up.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But like the end of the third act like gives her a clear, I guess not like a clear thing, but it's this thing where she clearly like rejects it and goes back to like running to Gary, which I love. But like,
I don't think she would have if she wasn't trying to be used as a beard. I think Alana really turned a corner.
That's not the scene I'm talking about. Okay. We'll get to it. So like you find out Benny Safdie is gay. He's hiding it because it's the 70s. There's some guy who keeps watching his office trying to get, dirt on him. And Benny Safdie calls her from a restaurant and says, like, hey, can you meet me at this restaurant? It's really important. She shows up, and yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about. He's using her as a beard. He's there with his lover, played by, do you know?
No, but I thought that guy killed it in the movie.
Oh, you think he's really good? I'm so excited. I'm so excited to reveal to you who this is, because I think he's a great actor, and we have covered one of his films before.
I thought he had a very heartfelt scene with Alana, and it was one of the higher points of the film. Just more real good dialogue, real characters. Just felt like I knew the two. And
so Benny Safdie is in a relationship with none other than Joseph Cross, the little boy from Wide Awake. That's right, folks. He's back.
Wait, what?
Yep, that scene. That actor is Joseph Cross, the little boy from Wide Awake.
You're talking about the
season 3, episode 2. That's correct. Joseph Cross, Wide Awake. He's in this movie, and he's fucking incredible. He's so good in this.
He was really freaking good in this movie.
This is such a so this is the scene I'm talking about. There's this scene where Alana shows up in the middle of Benny Safdie and Joseph Cross essentially arguing with each other because Joseph Cross just wants more love, and Benny Safdie is trying to hide the fact that he's gay and he just wants to work harder or whatever. And Alana walks Joseph Cross home, and there's this beautiful scene between the two of them of him just like, it's just the two of them like commiserating over love, right? Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
And he basically says like, is there a guy in your life? And she says yes, obviously referring to Gary. And the line he has is he is shit. They're all shits, aren't they? And it's so lovely. And I think that what makes this movie kind of work so well for me, like up to this point, I think of it as like a pretty fun PTA movie. And this is the scene that like elevates it into like, nope, this is just another fucking great movie from him. You can see her kind of get really upset after this scene because it's a very tough, like emotional moment for her where she has to realize like, this is what it's like this is what heartbreak can bring you. This is, even when you're in a relationship with someone, you could feel this unhappy and like this unloved. And like, I can tell that she's really upset about this. And what is the first fucking thing she does as soon as she walks away from that house? She starts running right back to Gary. And like, this is the moment for her where she's like, okay, again, I'm having to face what it's like to be a fucking adult. And I'm just going to run back to Gary because it's so much easier.
Yeah, I'm going to go get this teen.
I mean, listen, they kiss. She says, I love you, Gary. And then it rolls to credits. And like, to me, the next day she's going to be screaming at him about something. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't
100%.
This isn't a movie about two people who have fallen in love forever. Like, it's about two people who are really important to each other in a really important moment in both of their lives.
It's very toxic.
It's a little toxic. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think they're very genuinely like they care for each other a lot.
Yeah. I mean, what is shit? At 15, I cared about my GI Joes, you know?
Wow, 15 playing with your GI Joes.
No, just
alert. I don't know. I'm so touched by this movie, especially like, I don't know, I'm about to fucking turn 30. I'm having a lot of moments where I'm watching movies like this where it's like, all right, man, time to move on to the next phase. And I'm like, no, I don't wanna. And like, this movie just fucking, it played really well for me.
You have a little midlife crisis over there?
No, not a midlife crisis. I'm just like, I'm about to be 30. Is it cool that I don't have my shit together? Whatever. And like movies like this, just like, they feel very, whether they're ethically correct or not, they're very real. Like they feel like shit that happens in life. And like, I don't know, I dig that. Makes me feel seen.
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the film. Like I've said a couple times, because of the, I guess you want to call it like minimal stakes or minimal conflict, created the low stakes of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. Because it's Paul Thomas Anderson, it's still a great movie, still great characters, still great dialogue. Like I said, one of the greatest soundtracks I've ever heard.
Yeah, he really just fucking came out for that one, huh?
Seriously, like it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not the music guy. Like
you're talking about all of the rock songs that are in the movie, right?
Not only
all the needle drops.
Only the rock songs, but how they were lined up with the appropriate scenes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like what I think it's the David Bowie when the gas shortage hits.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is brilliant. Just I've said brilliant too many times this time.
That's okay. You can say
Other
it more.
than that, it's definitely not one of his best. It's not in top tier. It's not in the A tier for. It's not in upper threshold of his movies for me. I mean, are we going to update our rankings this episode? Or are we going to revisit
I don't know.
it?
I mean, I have my PTA ranking. I just like every time he makes a movie, are we going to like re-rank all of the movies?
Well, no, you just slide it in. It's like, oh, where would this slide in the list? You know?
Oh, I probably slide it in. I don't know, somewhere between. Well, let's go ahead and give our star rating.
Yeah,
we're done with it. We're done talking about the movie, right?
Are we done?
Is there anything else?
I feel pretty good with it. There was like a little. They try to make each other jealous throughout the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
There was that little other where the other girl was like hitting on Gary and Alana didn't like.
Yeah,
it.
she got jealous. Yeah,
just little things like that.
I love Alana. I love this character so much.
She was a great character. I gave this movie a 3.5 out of 5.
4.5 stars for me.
Wow,
love it a lot.
I had a feeling it was gonna be up there for you. Well, I don't have to ask you who your favorite character is.
It's Alana. Alana's my favorite character. I love her so much.
It is also mine.
I mean, close second is John Peters, Bradley Cooper playing John Peters. That's so fucking funny.
I went Gary. If I had to pick a second, it'd be Gary. It's just the two leads made this movie what it is, and every little bit of me that enjoyed this movie was because of those two.
I think I enjoyed a lot more than those two. I think that's the difference between your 3.5 and my 4.5.
Yeah.
You said this wouldn't be in his like top tier. The thing about him for me is like he has like S tier movies and then he has like S minus tier movies, and that's it. There's nothing below those two for me. Like, so to say that this isn't top tier, I'm like,
right.
So what is it? Top tier part A? Like, I don't. It's still fucking perfect for me. I love it. I don't know. I would probably put this as like my 5th favorite movie of his between There Will Be Blood and Inherent Vice. That's probably where I would slot it in.
Well, I definitely like this more than Inherent Vice. I can't really remember what I gave Boogie Nights. It might be around there for me. Obviously, it comes nowhere close to Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood, The Master, even Phantom Thread. I think Phantom Thread I gave 4.5. Yeah, this movie doesn't sniff those. I just think those movies are just.
I think it's
borderline
sniffing.
masterpieces, but
I think it's sniffing.
This is great film, and I'm glad it's nominated. I think it deserves to be nominated.
You think it deserves the Best Picture nomination? I mean, obviously I do because I love this movie so much. But like, yeah, you seem.
I think with how well crafted this movie is by Paul Thomas Anderson, you should always be able to find a spot
for him
for one of his movies.
I agree
because he's that good.
He is.
Like nothing, like for plot reasons aside, like there's not really anything for me to really sink my teeth into this movie, and I still like.
Basically, my only real complaint is John Michael Higgins. That's the only thing where I'm like, you shouldn't have done that, Paul.
Oh, okay.
There might be other things that I don't like love as much as, but like, I'm not going to sit here and say there's anything wrong with this movie aside from that one racist ass joke. Like,
no, to me, it feels like Paul Thomas Anderson barely even tried with this movie, and it was still that.
I agree. This is my thing with this movie. Is I'm like, how did he do this? It feels like he just sort of like whipped this up in his spare time. It's great.
All right.
It's great.
Yes, I guess we can wrap up Licorice Pizza. You know what? I will be excited to check out. We are starting a new season.
We're gonna do it. Ridley Scott coming up next.
Yep. Season 4, part 1, Ridley Scott.
Yes, right. Because we're gonna cut this into 2 seasons because he's got so many
Episode
fucking
1,
movies.
The Last Duelist.
No, you combined his first movie and his most recent movie.
The Last Duel and the first duel.
No, this movie's just called The Duelists.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then The Last Duel, which
Can't
is
wait.
a movie that came out this year, and we will get to in like 3 years. So we're gonna do Ridley Scott. We're doing The Last Duel. No, God damn it, I just did it. The Duelists. We're doing The Duelists. Harvey Keitel, Keith Carradine. It's gonna be great. Will Harvey Keitel whip his dick out? We will know soon because he likes to do that.
He does.
And I like it when he does it. I'm not gonna lie. Get it out.
It's all right. Hey,
more dicks.
Ain't no shame.
All right. That's it, right? We're done.
I think that's it.
We'll get that new episode out as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I'm
comment,
James.
follow,
Oh yeah.
Like,
Comment on all our shit. Follow us on
Rate us.
Instagram at Film School Dropouts Pod and on Twitter at film_school_pod. I just did that from fucking memory, even though we haven't recorded in 3 months.
That's
Get
impressive.
it. Also follow me on Instagram, Jimmy Tsunimi. I'm going to be doing my annual Jimmy Awards soon, where I announce all of my nominees and winners for each category. So you can just follow me on there. I'm not going to tell you how to spell Jimmy Tsunimi. If you've seen Johnny Tsunami, then you know how to spell it.
There you go. Whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is. Whoop, here we go. My name's James.
I'm Brent.
And thanks for listening. We'll see you soon with the Duelists.
See ya.
I don't know if it's called that. I'm having a crisis. Is it the Duelists?
It's gotta be.
It's the Duelists.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you soon with the Duelists. Bye.